Very good. So we're now recording, and Olivia is, you take it away as whenever you'd like.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not right now. You have to hit hover your cursor down the bottom of the screen, and you'll get a controls across the bottom that'll pop up, and look at shared screen.
Mm-hmm.
Share screen. Hit that.
Yeah.
And that should allow you to show us what you've got.
All right. Is it? Sure.
Theoretically, we're supposed to see everything on your desktop, but as we've seen in the past, it doesn't always work.
Allow Zoom to share your screen. Yep. Did it?
Okay.
Zoom will not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit.
Until what?
Until it is quit.
That's weird. Why would it do that?
I don't know. I'm just going to hit it and see what happens.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe you can't do it, but I can on this end.
All right. I said I'm going to have to leave the meeting. Do you want to leave this meeting? No.
Are you hitting the right thing?
Yeah. Oh. So share screen. And okay. So then it's desktop. Oh, I got it. All right. Yeah.
Beautiful. Then from there you want to hit what slideshow in this one? What's the version? What's this version of slideshow?
This
slides.
Maybe it's just on the slide. Yeah.
Just press present.
Click on slide.
Oh, okay. I got it. I gotta move you guys down. Okay. There we go.
All right. You want us to applaud for you? Yeah, we'll applaud for you.
No. Okay.
Give it up for Olivia, everybody. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Oh yeah.
Much better.
Okay. All right. Can I start?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is my capstone project. Obviously, the purpose of the capstone, the requirements are just like everything that you guys had. It's just understanding the job requirements behind what we got our degree in. It's being able to compare the work conditions of all the different companies that are offering positions right now. And it's allowing us to outline our career plans for the future. So I'm gonna move you guys. So a little bit about me. My mom is a third-generation landlord. So I've been around real estate and commercial real estate and residential real estate all my life. And it's a lot of work. So when it was time for me to pick out my own degree and figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I really questioned if this was something that I wanted to do, if I wanted to follow in my mom's footsteps or not. So she decided to send me to real estate school while I was in high school, and I took night classes. And that's when I really fell in love with it. But I didn't really love, the laboring of being a landlord, cleaning the apartment, shoveling in the middle of a blizzard, and, chasing tenants around. I just don't have the stomach for it. But I really did fall in love with, the rules and regulations. And my broker was so awesome. She taught me about all these cool loopholes you can do as a landlord. And I just thought it was so cool. And that's when I realized, being a real estate attorney would allow me to be involved in real estate, but do it more on my own terms rather than just kind of inheriting everything that my mom did. It's really special that I go to UMass Lowell and that, I want to go on to law school because I'm going to be a first-generation college student. So I'll be the first one in my family ever to have a degree. And I just think that's a real honor to have that opportunity out of everybody, in my family. It's not changing. Okay. So the job position I found was actually really perfect. I wish I was an attorney now so I could actually apply for it. It's called Northeast Legal Aid. It's right in downtown Lowell. And obviously it's my preferred location because I did end up getting my real estate license. And that's actually how I pay for school and I pay for everything else. So it's definitely something that I'm going to be keeping up for, as long as I can. The company was in search of a, quote, unestablished newly licensed attorney. And so it was really interesting to me to read that because they really wanted to mentor someone and kind of set them up and give them, a good foundation for the company, to work there for years on end. And of course, being in downtown Lowell and really any job you apply for nowadays, you need to be bilingual, especially in Spanish. It's almost a necessity at this point. And, being a real estate attorney, it's not really that easy. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of pushing paper all the time. So Northeast Legal Aid is open 6 days a week. And it's just really long hours. And they do consultations in person. on the phone. And then I also found out last night they do it online as well, which I thought was really crazy. So the company itself is kind of considered small as far as law firms go. There's 4 local branches, and they're all in really kind of rough areas: Lowell, Lynn, Lawrence. So obviously their target market is kind of, low income. But I was really kind of like intrigued by this. I'd never really seen, law firms go for people like that. And then I kept reading on about them, and they charge their clients based on their income. They don't have a set rate or, a preferred price. And I was really just kind of touched by that. They care more about their clients and the justice that they get at the end of the day than what goes in their wallets. And I really love that. And, being a landlord, I've been to housing court, I've been, around people like that. And I know the representation they get. And it's honestly, it's ridiculous. So I was really, really touched that Northeast Legal Aid cares about stuff like that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do now as a salesperson. People always ask me, like, all the time, well, how do you become a real estate salesperson? And it's so easy. It's practically a joke. It's 40 hours of classwork. And when I was in high school, I didn't even have my diploma yet. And I think it was like 2 months of night classes, and it wasn't even every day. And then once you do your 40 hours, you go and you take your state exam and you take a national exam. And the best way I can describe it, it's exactly like how you took your driver's permit. You sit at a computer in like this cubicle, and you go and you take it and you pass or you don't. To be a salesperson, it's really tiring. It's really client orientated. It's a lot of biting your own tongue and biting the bullet and kind of just doing what the client wants, regardless of your schedule or whether you feel like doing it or not. And for people that do this full time, I don't really feel it, but it's really inconsistent and unpredictable for people like brokers and people who own, real estate companies. In the summer we had record sales, and now, with this pandemic, we're really kind of going into a recession. So if you're not good at finances, if you're not good at saving, it's really tough to, maintain this type of lifestyle. And health and dental insurance is super important to me. My family is pretty much all, tradesmen and landlords, and have never been to college. So a lot of times they pay for their health insurance and their dental insurance out of pocket. And I don't want to deal with that. I just want a company to give me a healthcare package and I'll just run with it. And from salary.com, I thought these rates were a little low, honestly, but that's what they said. And they said it for Massachusetts as well. It's between 25 and around 100 grand a year for a real estate person. Honestly, I feel like it's more around like 75 to maybe like 2, but that's what they said. So now for a real estate attorney, it's really hard to get into law school. First, you have to take, this thing that's called a bar exam. And people study for years and years and years to take this exam. It's super competitive. And once you take it, you have to go to school for like another 3 or 4 years. And it's so much more expensive. And, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. And you're, kind of almost in your 30s and late 20s by the time you get out. It's a big decision to, kind of give up a career and keep going to school. So real estate attorneys pretty much do the revision and the writing of wills. They do a lot of mortgage documents, and then obviously they do the sale and the purchase of property. So pretty much it's just a lot of pushing paper all day, but it's really hard because it's super detail orientated. I mean, you mess up and it's ridiculous. You can't mess up. And obviously, this type of work, and when you go to school this long, it's going to be a lot more profitable because you put in the work. And obviously, if you do go work for a firm and you're not self-employed, there's going to be the healthcare packages again. And salary.com, the same place I got the salesperson rate off of, said you can make around like 150, 190, which, I don't mind at all. So why do I want this type of job? Even when I was a kid and I used to go to my mom and, we used to go to closings and stuff like that, I always used to love that her real estate attorney was just so polished all the time. But we always, were related to him. He always talked about real estate. We used to joke about, the same things. I came from Catholic school, so I really loved that kind of, refined stuff. I liked his fancy table, and I liked his, leather chairs and everything like that. And I liked that he got up and he wore a suit every day. In my family, we all wear, sweatshirt jeans and work boots. I mean, we're laborers, so we don't really dress up. And then obviously it's related to my salesperson's license. I think it's a great thing to have. In my capstone, I have a really cool rate. I think it's 45% of real estate attorneys have or maintain a real estate license. Before I read that, I thought I was so smart, like thinking like, I'm gonna get my real estate license and then I'm gonna go and get my attorney's license and I'm gonna have this big advantage that nobody else has. And then I read that and I felt kind of stupid. But no, I think it's a really cool thing to have, that everybody kind of has that foundation and that start. I thought it was really cool. And of course it's financial security. And then, it's a huge honor again for me to be the first in my family to have a college education, but then to go on to law school. I mean, that's the cherry on top. I mean, that's just so incredibly, it's an honor. It's really an honor. And then, finally it's connecting my love of school, my love of education with what my family does with the real estate. So how do I get a job like this? Obviously I'm going to continue to do what I do as a salesperson. I want to get my management degree from here, from UMass Lowell, and then I'm going to try to take the bar exam. And then, in the meantime, I want to try to get internships, maybe a fellowship, maybe in the summertime, and continue to add to my resume and kind of grow it a little bit. And then obviously I'm going to start preparing kind of rough drafts of different thank you letters to send to people. So these are my cover letter and thank you letters. I met with Barbara, the woman that helped us all in that class. I met her like 2 weeks ago, and she gave me really cool advice. She said, with these letters, you shouldn't talk more about you. It's kind of more important to do like the subtle compliments to your interviewer and the company. And I just thought that was really interesting, and I thought that was really helpful. So that's what I did. I talked more about the benefits that the company offers me versus, what I can do for them. And then this is my resume. Barbara helped me out with this too. I think it looks really, really great now. When I had it, it was really long. It was almost like 6 or 7 pages, and we cut it down to 3. So I think it's really great. It just has a lot of bullets now, and it's a lot more just cut and dry. And I think it looks really great. And that's it. That's my whole capstone project. Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Why don't you just go back? There you go. Let me see if I can get you in speaker view. There you go. I liked it. A couple of things that I want to point out to you. One thing about the thank you letter, it is important to talk about them and the company and all that, but the other part of it that I've read and I've always kind of I've always used this what I do is I refer to them, but I also refer to the work and the mission. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's not like you have a beautiful building. It's like, this is a great mission you have, or this is an exciting company.
Yeah, I actually mentioned, I said, I love it said something Barbara helped me. It was like, I love the philosophy of like how you help low income people or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about their morals and stuff.
Good. Yeah, the mission of the work is like I said, it definitely something you want to think about. And that's what every company cares, every company should care about it.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. In your About Me slide, you bolded family of tradesmen, which was it was in a bullet, and then you bolded it, and you didn't bold anything else that was in a bullet. Was that an error, or was that?
No, I just think I liked it because I wanted to kind of put emphasis on why being a real estate attorney appealed to me, rather than just staying as a salesperson or staying in my mom's field of being a landlord. And like how I talked about getting dressed up and getting polished, my family's tradesmen. We don't do that. We're boots and jeans.
All right. I think you explained it really well. I just couldn't understand why it was bolded in the on the slide. Job positioning in that slide, you had a typo. You said 2-2, which is.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Whenever you could put it on paper and take a look at it on paper, it's a good idea, because sometimes you'll see things on a screen and you just don't see them because your mind will fix it for you. And then also, if you get somebody else to look at it, that's always a good way. It's not, nothing is 100%. I had a magazine from Merrimack College, and we had everybody look at the magazine. The very first issue I did, we had everybody. We had a proofreader, we had the alumni director, we had the president, we had the president's administrative assistant, we had my mother looked at it. There were a lot of people who looked at it, and I had a word in the lead story in the headline. There was a word wrong. I think it was like a stupid word, like commencement or Merrimack was misspelled.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, and it's not 100%. So, but it's always a good idea to have somebody else take a
Yeah.
look at it if you have that, and it's always a good idea to put it on paper, just because it's a different. For whatever reason, your mind works differently when it looks at paper than when it looks at. It works differently when it looks at your stuff than somebody else's. It works differently when it looks at the screen versus looking on paper. I don't know why, but that's the way it works. So anyway, so you had a 2-2. That was the only typo that I noticed. Are you bilingual?
No.
Okay.
I kind of used to be, but I don't really keep up with it anymore.
Yeah, you talked about it and you bulleted it in the About Me, the job positioning page. And I thought, well, is she bilingual or not? And so I think it's a good idea for you to notice that. It's probably a good idea for you to address that, because it will close the gap. Obviously, legal aid, I think, is a little bit different, because you're dealing with, if you're dealing with tenant rights, in that case, you're dealing with it from a tenant standpoint, not a landlord standpoint. If you're doing real estate attorney, as a real estate attorney, you might go either way. In either case, it's good experience. So, so I understand why legal aid would be a good place for you to start. However, I will say this: I think you're going to find this anyway. As a lawyer, you're going to come out of school with a lot of debt, and I think you've got a lot of value coming out as a fresh graduate from law school. You probably got a lot of value. So if your goal is to do real estate law, it depends. Most people wind up as solos, which means that they're in practice for themselves. Some people work for small firms, which can be anywhere from 2 to 10 lawyers. Some are in big firms, and obviously the most money is in the big firms. And when you come out of law school, that's when you have a lot of value for those firms, for those big firms. So if that's where you want to land and end up, then you probably want to think about it. I mean, I think it's good to think about it now. I think, but if you want to start at a legal aid thing and expect to wind up at a big firm, I don't know if that path is clear. Now, maybe it's changed since my brother was a lawyer, as we mentioned, and he does big stuff. He does big real estate, and his that was the way it was when I remember when he went to school. He graduated Merrimack. Then he went to University of Virginia, because it was a top 5 law school.
Wow.
And then he went to a top 5 law firm in Boston, Palmer & Dodge, which is no more, but it was a big firm at the time. And it was also a path where, like, you get a job between your first and second year of law school in the summer. And that would be, you would want to get a good job then, but then you'd want to try and find a better firm to work at between your second and third year. And then hopefully they would hire you when you graduated. And it worked out really well for him with that whole strategy. I don't know if that's still the strategy that's you're best off following, but it is something to be aware of and to just check. Because you want to figure out where you want to be. And then what happens with a lot of people, they go to that good law school and they would go to the big firm and they would be working 80 hours a week and they would be miserable and they would be stuck with giant debt and a job they didn't like, and they'd be making good money. So it is a thing you want to think about pretty thoughtfully. And I think you are, but you just want to keep thinking about it.
No, yeah, the debt scares me so bad. My debt-free muscle isn't really anything, but oh my God, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's insane.
Yeah, and if you like the job, if you like that kind of law, it will work out for you because the money's fantastic. But if you wind up not liking that kind of law or not getting into the big firm,
it's over. I know. It's so scary. It's competitive.
It is. The other thing I just want to point out to you, you had a little error there in your LSATs is the test that lawyers take before law school. They're like the SAT.
The bar?
What's that?
It's not the bar?
No, the bar exam is after you finish law school.
Oh,
you have to take the bar in order to be accredited. And then at every state you want to work in, you have to get accredited in that state. Like my brother, again, I've mentioned my brother, he's worked in Boston.
Yeah.
Now he's in New York. He just had to take the bar exam in New York. Now,
Oh my
he's
God.
got, whatever, he's older than me, so he's old as could be.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of experience, but he had to take the bar exam in New York in order to practice law there.
God.
I think the rule of thumb is, and a lot of attorneys here are licensed in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
For the obvious reason. But those are different bar exams, and it's important. There are important distinctions in the law between the two states, between any state. So it's something for you to keep in mind. But a lot of people, one of my brother's friends didn't pass the bar exam first time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I was reading up on it. It's like scary. Like people study for years to do it.
That's what I've been told. And it's a tough test. So but yeah, those are the bar. The big thing was it's the LSATs which come first.
Yep, and then the bar
exam in order to, and you've got to take the bar exam for every state that you want to practice in. So
oh my God,
the joy of being an attorney. But again, when you're all done, you get to have 2 houses, and you get to be rich and tell people you're an attorney, and they'll think that you're both, they'll respect you greatly, and at the same time they'll think you're a dirty lizard. So anyway, the rest of it was good. I'm assuming that your resume is going to be on one page.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I just took screenshots because it was kind of long.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I just broke it up.
And Barbara liked it.
Yeah, so the resume I gave her was wicked long, and it's something I've had since high school. And she broke it all down, and we spent a lot of time on it.
You get rid of a lot?
Yeah, we did a lot of condensing.
Yeah.
Like we started doing bullets and incomplete sentences, like just really cut and dry.
It's really not about sentences; it's about sentence fragments. And just a real quick thing that somebody who knows how to read a resume can go bing, bing, bing. Oh, she's good. Bing, bing, bing. She doesn't quite fit. And they'll know. But
Barbara said they only spend less than a minute reading a resume.
Yeah, if that. Yeah, if that. I've heard other estimates that say 30 seconds. But
oh my God.
Good. Anyway, nice job. And we're gonna move on to Evan. Are you good? All right, nice job.
Thanks.
Evan, you ready to go?
Yep.
Gonna make you a co-host, and I'm gonna.
Hugo's talking to the help center on Zoom because all of the links we sent.
All right. Let's hope he gets here. If not, oh man. I'm getting a text from him. Just tell him to do his best. Of course, again, yeah. All right. Anyway, just do his best. Olivia, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Evan, you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. You've got co-hosting duties. You know how to. Are you up to speed on that?
Yeah.
Great.
Can you guys see the
whole
screen or?
Yep.
All right. So my capstone was on the career as a marketing coordinator. And the purpose of this was to research potential career paths after graduation and to find a job application for a desired position and assess job responsibilities and the company itself and create a resume, cover letter, and post-interview thank you letter. So about me, I am a UMass Lowell second-year student in business administration, majoring in marketing. I was born and raised in Lowell, Mass, and I worked at Somerset Industries Incorporated for almost 5 years. The flyer on the right shows some of the products they have. So it's mainly, they specialize in dough processing equipment. Not sure who Chef Jeff is, but I'm sure he's very popular. And I also helped with and attended events for the CMAA. And the last event I went to was a fashion show fundraiser where they kind of celebrated Lowell's Asian diversity through clothes and food for like the Laos, Khmer, and Vietnamese cultures. And the job posting I found was on LinkedIn for Access Inc., a marketing coordinator. And some of the tasks they listed was to work with teams to coordinate events and campaigns, develop content for various marketing initiatives. So things like email marketing or event follow-ups. And research and identify new marketing opportunities to expose the brand to target groups. And I talk about this in the next slide, but the second paragraph on LinkedIn, you see that they really emphasize how they're more than just a team, and saying that they care about each other. And they have things like Wednesday popcorn, Friday morning bagels, and ping pong. So it sounds like a fun place to work. Description of the company itself, Access Inc. They specialize in surveillance and communication technology. And they have clients in the aerospace, automotive, manufacturing, heavy equipment, and military industries, as well as more. And as I said, they emphasize a fun and relaxed environment, taking care of their employees like family. And the bottom is a quote from their website: "We enable a smart and safer world by creating network solutions to improve security and find new ways of doing business." An example of this was on their website itself, actually, where in Russia, they installed over 1,000 new cameras in different branches of banks. And it's all connected by one system with like super high refresh rates. So they're clearly doing good. And the fact that it's international business just makes it better. So the skills acquired, you need a competency in business, strategic thinking, and adapting to change. You have good communication and relationship management, and the ability to work effectively independently and also in a team. And you need to organize and prioritize efficiently, which is basically time management, and have original and creative problem solving. So about the industry itself, I found this image on Glassdoor, which shows the average salary, which is around 46,000, which isn't terrible, but isn't that great either. But a bachelor's degree is often the minimum requirement, and you would receive on-the-job training and work closely with the marketing director, and expect project-based work days. Here's my cover letter. I told them about the position I'm interested in and how the skills I have right now would apply to it, as well as the potential to learn more. And the bottom, I listed where I can be contacted, and I thank them for their time. Here's my resume. I'm kind of lacking on clubs. I didn't do very much outside of high school. And my work experience, I've been at the same company for 5 years. It's my first job, and I'm still there. So it's not really much variety. But I still tried to list as much as I could. Education at Lowell, but related coursework related to marketing coordinator. And then work experience, I put kind of all the basic tasks I do at work. Not all of it, because I can't really fit that much in. It's kind of hard to get specific with it. And the bottom is the skills that also relate to the marketing coordinator position. And here's my thank you letter. I thank them for allowing me to come in and show them how I'm the right fit for the job. Second paragraph talks about the company itself, kind of shows that I share the same goal as them, and I compliment how charismatic they are about it. And the bottom, I just, again, put my contact information, hoping to hear from them again. And here are my references that I used. Thank you very much.
Good, nice job. 5:30.
Oh, that's short.
That's okay. Let's see. Let's get back to you.
I think stop share.
There you are. Good, nice job. A couple things that I liked. Was that you yawning after that presentation?
Yeah, it's me yawning, yeah.
Are you sleeping?
Nah, I didn't sleep. That's kind of the problem right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring.
That was impressive. You were still talking and yawning. In my opinion, that's great.
Yeah, it was good. It was just like class.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little worse, honestly.
Are you are those headphones listening to me, or are those headphones on for another reason?
No, it's for this.
Okay.
Got to get better.
I think your PowerPoint was. I think overall it was good. I thought it was very good. Your path seems to be okay. There were a bunch of things that I've got that I want to give you a little feedback on, though. I think the PowerPoint was a little bit wordy, and I think if you look through it, you'll see a lot of lines where you've got two lines, and the first line has got like 6 words in it, and the second line has 1 word. Almost always you can get rid of something so you can get it onto one line. And if not, from a design standpoint, you ought to see if there's a way to maybe balance out the decks, the lines. Does that make sense? If you want, I can bring you to one.
Yeah.
But like for your description of the company, there were two widows, which is that single line on the single word on the second line. You just want to try and get rid of those in general. I think it was, in general, I think it was a tiny bit wordy. And I think the other thing I think is it seemed like you were taking things from the company's website, which tends to be.
In the cover letter, I tried to present myself in a way that they would like. So I chose little things from my schoolwork, from my actual work that would put me as a running candidate for this position.
Yep.
I just.
Who was that who was speaking? Hello? All right. I don't know who that was. Who just said that? Nobody wants
I think
to
that was
say-
Alex.
What's that, Jillian?
I think it was Alex.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, really? What?
No.
Yeah. I said Alex.
Well,
No,
anyway,
it wasn't me.
whoever it was, I think, Evan, you want to be careful to get, or you want to probably get a little more third-party information for the job and less, just watch out. Be careful about buying into too much to what the company writes on the website. You want to take the objective information, not the subjective. What did you say about them? They wanted to, they had a work environment that had,
It's like a fun and relaxing work environment.
right.
Like they emphasized how it'd be taking care of like family.
Okay. What do you think that means?
I just think like they were just trying to show how comfortable the work environment was and how like
But why?
you don't maybe just to show like a more charismatic side of it.
Okay.
How work doesn't have to be boring type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, specifically the things that they offered. One of them was ping pong. What were the other things?
It was Wednesday popcorn, Friday morning bagels, and ping pong.
Okay.
But that was just off the LinkedIn. So
That was off LinkedIn? Was that the LinkedIn job posting you said?
yeah, that was the one.
Okay. I would say find some third-party descriptions and look for the objective stuff. I think that a company that offers popcorn, bagels, and ping pong is probably looking for a, I don't know, younger workforce, would you say?
I mean, that's what it made it sound like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that probably is kind of what they're trying to say. But just you want to, whenever a company tells you that they have a family atmosphere, not that I mean, that might be exactly what they're trying to do, but it's also something that you want to investigate it. You want to investigate and see what you can find out objectively about a company.
Yeah.
And about that industry. Manufacturing's got a whole bunch of jobs in it. As you know, the problem with getting into a manufacturing job now is that it is a field that's gone through significant reductions in the last few years with more machines that can do more work.
Yeah,
And,
replacing workers. Yeah.
What's that?
Replacing workers with machines.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the people complain about jobs going to other countries, and that's true too. But the combination of those two have really hurt manufacturing. So if you're going to get into that field, you want to be aware of it, and obviously keep your skills up. Did you talk to Barbara about your cover letter or your resume? You should call Barb 11 from the. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I don't know why my headphones disconnected. I can still hear you.
Okay. You should call Barb 11 and have her kind of help you review those. I think they were actually good. I don't think working for one company necessarily hurts if it's a company such as the one you work for, because it shows that you're responsible. It shows that you've been in a quote unquote adult work environment, professional work environment.
Yeah.
So I think that's not necessarily bad. It's sort of like somebody who works at Market Basket. And if you work at Market Basket for 5 years and you haven't got a raise, that says one thing. But if you get regular raises, if you've got more responsibility and you can show that you've gained more responsibility over the years, that shows that you're a valued employee. So the same way with working for a manufacturing company, there's a lot of advantages to saying, I worked for this one company and I worked for a long time and this is what I did. I think you did that. So I like that about the resume. I just say bring it to Barbara because she's an expert. I think she could smooth out a couple of things on your cover letter. Nothing that's heinously horrible, but just a couple of things she could make a little smoother for you. And I think that was basically what I came away with. Anybody else notice anything that they want to share with Evan to make his presentation stronger? Nothing. They all loved you, Evan.
Great. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now let's see if Hievel made it on to, he didn't. Ryan, any report on Hievel? Now, before we go any further, but I'm sorry, before Ryan, did anybody else have anything for me today? Okay. So we have 6. We have 2 people who were sick and couldn't go today. So we had 6. Now we have 7. If Hievel can't get his computer to work in the next 2 seconds. Ryan, what's the word on Hievel?
I asked him if he said got any updates, and he said working on it, Brittany. Don't know what. Yeah, I don't know why he called me Brittany, but.
Well, maybe he got hit in the head. Maybe he's delusional.
Maybe he got bit by the virus.
Could be. There's a lot of that going around. Let's see. Where's Dante? Dante's not even here. I don't know if I feel right showing you Dante's pink eye. I guess we'll skip that. So, nice job, Evan. Nice job, Olivia. I think we've done all we need to do for today. I will tell you this, and I'll post this hopefully on Blackboard. My hand is a little messed up, so I'm a little slower posting than I've been in the past. But I will try to get this up on Blackboard, and I will also try to explain to you a little bit about what we're looking for the job interview. If you go to Indeed or Monster.com, or if you just Google job interview questions, you'll find the type of questions that we'll be talking about, and they go into pretty great detail. If you'll notice, if you go to a lot of these sites, you'll see the same questions on every site, even the odd ones. And there are reasons that people will ask you certain questions. If I ask you, for example, Lauren, what did you dislike the most about your last job? What do you say?
That's a great question. I would say angry customers, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a
What?
Generally, if somebody's asking you what you didn't like, like what's your worst manager? Tell me about your worst manager.
Can't believe you didn't like my project. I worked on it for like.
What am I looking for if I ask you about your worst manager, Duke?
So pretty.
Duke? If I asked you to tell me about your worst manager, what would you tell me?
I've never had a bad manager.
I wasn't. All right.
You asked this question last time.
What's that, Jillian?
You asked Duke that same question last time.
Did I? That's funny. I was thinking when I asked him that, I thought, this sounds like deja vu. So yeah, so there'll be a bunch of these questions and there'll be a bunch of those answers. So I'll post something about this again to kind of look those over and be ready to answer questions about them. And I asked you about did I ask you about the tennis balls, Jillian?
I think you asked Ryan, maybe?
I think I did.
I don't know.
I think I did. Somebody actually gave you a decent answer, right? Who was it who gave me the answer?
I think it was Dante, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm having memory loss.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's basically what I'll be. So I've already talked to you about it, so we're good. So you'll be all prepared, and that'll be for That will be for Friday.
Professor,
Yep.
this is David. I was wondering if I could present.
Sure, you should have asked about 10 minutes ago, but okay.
I was letting you talk. It seemed like you had something important to say.
You could have, I never have that important a point, David. Nothing more important than you.
Bless
All
you.
right, turn on your camera first of all.
All right.
Hover down the bottom, it'll say video. It'll have a line through it, and you just basically take the line off and you'll pop up.
Okay. I'm looking rough right now though, so.
Oh, we all look rough, man.
Yeah, normally you look so, you all look so attractive.
You said how, oh yeah.
I can't figure out if the 7 people who I can't see are, I've just walked away and are just in another room, or if they just feel that they look so hideous that they couldn't possibly expose themselves to the world. What do you think, Olivia?
I don't know. I think
Tommy is here. I just saw him unmute himself.
Yeah,
As for Lucas
my
hacking,
laptop is somewhere else and my computer doesn't have a camera.
I am absolutely hideous right now. I promise you.
David, what do you say? Your computer doesn't have a camera?
I didn't say that, but I'm looking for it.
What's happening?
I'm trying to open it. I don't know why it's not.
Have you opened it before?
I think I have before.
Okay.
It says enable access, camera access for Zoom and security.
You really want to look for stop video. Hover down the bottom, get that list up.
Yeah, I know. It's just bringing me to my settings.
Yeah, he's trying to, it's making him like approve settings that they can use the camera on Zoom.
Okay.
It says quit now, so I don't know what that means. Like I'm gonna have to quit this. It says leave meeting.
I don't know.
yeah.
Trying to find a way to get this started.
I'll put the trash out, right? Okay. Okay.
So David disconnected. Let's see if he can reconnect. Eval is
Yeah,
still trying to
he
get
needs to
online.
delete
So
the app.
does anyone have a class at 10 o'clock?
I do.
Okay. Can the rest of you hang in for Eval and for David? I mean,
Yeah.
I could just let it run and he can do it to me, but
Both of them?
have you found that you've learned anything from watching other people's presentations?
Yeah, I've learned a lot of other job opportunities that I didn't really know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Good, good. All right, David, glad you're with us. You ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, now you want to, let's see, hold on. I've got to give you co-hosting, make co-host. You're the co-host. Now at this point, you ought to be able to hover down on the bottom of the screen and see a thing that says share screen. It's a green button.
I see it.
You want to click that, and that should allow us to be able to see your desktop, which includes your PowerPoint.
Could y'all see it?
Not yet.
No.
No. Olivia, if you have to drop to go to your next class, that's fine. The rest of you, if you could
I
hang
can
in.
wait. I have like 10 minutes, so I can.
Okay.
Could y'all see it now?
No.
Nope. I had the same thing happen to me where I couldn't get something that I thought they would be able to see, one of my other classes. And I still haven't figured out why people couldn't see it because it was on my desktop.
Oh.
Oh, he's gone. Oh.
This Zoom is it's not perfect.
Nope.
I think it's all right.
It's all right, but it's cut me out of it's kicked me out of 2 classes in the middle of it. It is a little bit
Well,
inconsistent.
don't blame Zoom for that. Maybe you just didn't know how it works.
I didn't do anything. I just sat here with my hands on my lap and it disconnected
Oh.
me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I had to leave the thing just to do it, so now I think I should be ready now.
Okay, let me, I'll make you the co-host again. You are now the co-host. Can you bring up your slides?
Yay.
Nice job. All right, David, give it up for David.
Oh.
So my presentation, it's a little different from what most other people did. A lot of people look for jobs, and this job in my future is something I don't really want to have. I think being an entrepreneur would best suit me and just investing. So summary about the presentation, it's just gonna be a little bit about me, some industries I like to get into, like the sneaker resale industry, ticket resale industry, the foreign exchange market and stocks, other industries I would like to get into, why this is for me. For the sake of this assignment, I know I had to choose a job also, so I chose a job that I might want in the future. My resume and my cover letter. My resume and my cover letter, I was having problems bringing it into the presentation. So after, I'm just go to my Google Docs and show you guys. Just a little about me. I was born and raised in Rosendale, Massachusetts. It's a neighborhood in Boston, in the city. I played varsity basketball in high school. There's a little typo right there, but it's all right. Before UMass Lowell, I studied business administration at Mass Bay Community College before I transferred here in January. And the main reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur is because I read the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And basically, it just explained the ins and outs of investing and just giving an overall view of how it could help you in the long run. So one thing I've kind of been into for a couple of years now is reselling sneakers. As crazy as it might sound, sneakers is really something that has like a lot of value and demand. In my opinion, it's similar to stocks, just in the simple fact that I could buy a sneaker at a time and over time it'll rise or it'll decrease, just like how stocks are. Some stocks like growth stocks, it's like a little bit different. They have the different. It's just a little bit different. Celebrity sneaker collabs help sneakers become more valuable, and the projected resale market is at $2 billion right now. I think investing into something like this is good, just because I have understanding in it. As before in middle school and high school, I used to collect sneakers that were limited, and it felt pretty good to have, just because I know at any time I wanted to, I could sell them for a resale price that gives you the profit. One thing about the sneaker industry that people don't know about is that there's a thing called a sneaker bot, what you can see on the right. And basically what it is, it's a software development that helps you get sneakers for retail prices, and that helps you like start your profit out, as you can see on the screen before. Now this one, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not mine. I got it from the internet. Basically, what it says at the right is you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now this person was able to buy 10 pairs of Yeezys by Kanye West that came out, and I believe these ones had a 350 profit range. They're retail was for 220, and the resale was, I believe, 500. So you're making a good $320 profit on each shoe. So times out by 10, you get that profit range for that one release. Now every month there's like a good 5 to 6 pairs, maybe more, that help you that go for those type of numbers. Some do more, some do less. It's all about the shoe, but I think all in all, this is a good industry just to get into, because it could become either a side hustle that helps kids kids ranging from 16 to any age, really. I think it just helps them pay the bills, or you could just turn it into a full-time business. Something that I like and I hope to have a future in. Just some numbers. can't tell you every pair of sneakers because there's a lot, but basically just to sum it up to show you what I mean. On the left, you have an Air Jordan 1 Low that was collab with Travis Scott, who is a rapper, and they retailed at 130, and they actually have a resale value of 900. It's kind of crazy because when these came out, I actually went for them, and thankfully I was able to get them size 8. And at the time, they were going for more. I sold them for $1,200. That was a good profit range for me. I felt comfortable when I bought them, and the money came into my bank account. So I think that was a good investment. To the right, we have an Air Jordan 1 Chicago Off-White, retailed at 160, and the resale value was actually at $3,000. The Off-White shoes is a collaboration with Virgil Abloh. Right now, I think he's the designer for Louis Vuitton. And basically, I'm not going to say this is easy, like you just go out and get them. No, it's a little more complicated than that, just because they're sought out. And that the stock numbers for the shoes, they're not as high as other shoes are. So that's why the sneaker block comes in handy, just because it helps you maintain those pairs. Because usually when these come out on the internet or online, they sell out within, like, I want to say probably a minute or probably less than that. So picture like a lot of teenagers trying to just buy them at once. Sites are going to crash, sites are going to be slow. So with the sneaker block, it really helps you a lot. Some of them range from like $300 to $3,000. The one I just showed you, oh, my fault. Oh, shit, my fault. The one I just showed you right here, it actually worth $3,000. So pretty kind of expensive, but I feel like just with making $3,000 to $5,000, depending on what the shoe is, I think that's a good profit range. My goal with this is to at least make $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Just going hard with this. I feel like whatever you want in life, you got to go hard for it. So why not? Another industry I think is good is the ticket resale industry. Just because the entertainment business, just like shoes, will never die out. Sneakers have been here for decades, and the entertainment industry has been here since forever, basically. And what it is basically ticket brokers go after highly sought out concert events, sporting events, anything like that where famous celebrities are hosting. The only thing needed for this really is just a laptop for getting the tickets. And basically when you purchase the tickets, you sell them on secondary markets like StubHub. One thing I didn't mention about the sneaker thing before that, the secondary markets is basically stuff where you could, it's like eBay basically, where you could just buy and resell stuff for the sneakers. A secondary market is like StockX. StockX helps people sell shoes, just like eBay. For the ticket resale industry, StubHub is like the StockX basically, where you're able to just basically list your tickets and just let it do from there. As you can see, the secondary ticket market is predicted to grow from to 5.19 billion next year. I think just investing in billion-dollar markets and something that like you give your time into and just look at what's the possibilities, just a good thing. Just like with the sneaker block, all you need is just a laptop, your cell phone to put the shoes in, just to print, and then just go to the post office. So with this, I think it's kind of better than the sneakers, just because you don't have to leave your house at all. And basically, it's just easy money. Well, who wouldn't want to do this and just get the money? Another industry I wanted to look into is the foreign exchange market. I've got in contact with people who are involved in this. I've seen personally, I think it's great. $6.6 trillion traded a day in the market. That doesn't mean you're gonna get all that. No one is, but there's room for everyone to eat, and everyone's always gonna eat when if you're trading right. What I like about the foreign exchange market is that basically you're making money from your phone, and if you can make money from your phone and you're on social media all the time, I don't see why not to give this a try. Just because, I mean, I've seen someone, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen someone make $14,000 in 30 seconds trading in the market. I was there, I saw him do everything, it was legit. So that's what made me really want to like get into this market more, just because I feel like I have potential to grow with it. Another thing I like about this, not the foreign exchange market, but there's an online academy called iMarkets Live, and basically what it is it helps you learn about trading in the foreign exchange market as well as a compensation plan. So it helps you have two different incomes. The second income is basically it's network marketing, and it allows you to basically just rank up in the business. And next you have your own business, you become an independent business owner. And what you can see here is that for the first one, the Platinum 150, you need 3 people in your business. And then as you can see, the ranks are up. And I've actually met someone in Atlanta, I want to say in August. I went to a convention actually with a few of my business partners, and I actually met someone who was the chairman 50, as you can see, where he gets 2,500. Now he has 2,500 people in his business, but he makes 12,500 every Friday. So every Friday is deposited into his account no matter what he's doing. And I've been in his penthouse, seen his cars and all that. It was a great motivation for me just to say, this is a lifestyle I probably would have. So I think with the 3 industries I've talked about so far, I think I have time to do all of them. I feel like one thing about doing business or just anything about life in general is that time is very valuable to what you want to, basically what you want to achieve. Some other notable industries I would like to get into, everyone knows about real estate. I think real estate is great just because making money by flipping houses, wholesaling, I think that's just a market that I want to get into, because at the end of the day, I want to make life easy as possible for me, but still have a maximum potential to get make a lot of money. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we go to college to get a good job, and at the end of the good job results to good money. So I feel like some people, they like basically not really like, I'm not gonna say they short themselves out, but in my opinion, I don't want no one to get offended by this. I just think that making $60,000, $70,000 a year, working 9 to 5 every day, busting my butt, it's not for me. I think I'm worth way more than that, and I think that's a good plan to go to. Why this is for me, these industries for me, I kind of spoke about a little bit in the past one, but I like to be full in control of what I do and what's best for me to help achieve my goals. I'm a firm believer over profit over wages. Having a job, it basically, depending on how much you make, it sets a limit to what you can make. And being an investor, it kind of like, there's no bar, no limit. You can make as much as you want. Like I said before, the sneaker thing, my fault. My goal is to make at least $10,000, $20,000 a month reselling sneakers. Not just sneakers, but also basically another company called Supreme that releases different hyped items. And with the sneaker bot that I showed you, it basically helps you get those as well. So all in one bot. I think reselling Supreme has a high market value as well. Another thing is, my main goal is to become a millionaire by 25. After reading the book, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it gave me kind of a goal. And I feel like if you want to have goals in life, you really got to like make small goals at first. I have small goals, like I said before, make $10,000, $20,000 within one side hustle. Hopefully I can make more. And I just think creating generational wealth is important for me, just to break a curse in my family. I grew up with a single mother, so I've seen her struggle sometimes, and I didn't like that at all. So I feel like I just have to change my life and change my surroundings. Just give back to my mother, because my mother has done a lot for me and sacrificed a lot in her life, so I can have a better life. So I feel like just becoming rich is just a goal of mine to help her out. I really don't have like I don't know what I want to do right now in terms of like the future. For right now, this is just something to help me get by, but also as well as just knowing what people want to do. I feel like passion, what I've learned is that within jobs and stuff like that, some people do it for the passion and some people do it for the money. If you want to be a professor, a teacher, scientist, lawyer, doctor, whatever, that's good for you. I have no problem. I don't shame no one who does what they want to do. I think in life you should do what you want to do, and if you want to be a teacher, that's okay. I'm 100% with that. One thing I just realized is that some people go into different fields just for the money, and I think that people, if they're going to a field for the money, I believe that they should just have just different options to look for it, so you're not wasting your time and you're maximizing your time at best. Another goal of mine to have is to eventually write a book describing about my experiences within investing in the different industries I invested in. My goal with that is to just help people with their own finances and help people who don't know how to get money or who only know one exactly way to get money, which is a job, which a lot of people, a job is their only source of income. So writing a book about just other people, I mean, just within my experiences and helping other people out, I think that's a good goal for me just because I'm doing something with my life and I'm helping other people achieve theirs. And I've just seen too many people struggling, and I don't think that in life it's fair to struggle. Sorry about that. Yeah, and to be honest with you, writing the book, I think that's something I would like to really hope and see myself doing. And to be honest, I really don't. I mean, if some people take the book serious, then that's them. To be honest, I really don't. I mean, I do care if people buy the book and do what's in it, but if you buy the book and you don't do it, I still made the money off the book, so that's your fault. I really don't care. I still got the money. Yeah. For this, oh yeah, before that, for the book, I plan on making the ebook, so just that costs will be a little bit different rather than having a traditional book. For the sake of this assignment though, I know we need to find a job, an actual one, and I think with all the investing I talked about, I feel like people who don't know what they want to do should at least become an entrepreneur to make sure that your money is right. And later in life, you don't have to worry about what job pays well, what job's gonna give you some benefits, this, that, and the third. I feel like if your money is already set, basically you can do whatever you want because you have the money security, and there's none that could go wrong. So hopefully in the future, if I am a millionaire like I plan to be, well, I will be one actually. I feel like real estate is something that I can get into. So I looked up real estate analyst. I think that's a good position. What I really look for is what job pays the most and what I could probably do. If I'm making millions of dollars, why not have a job that makes some money as well? I think that's a good way to say it. Making six figures is not bad from a job. So yeah, so I just did a little research and I felt like this is something that I would like to do. As you see in the job description, I'll read it. The real estate analysis assists in the financial evolution and negotiation of acquisitions, gathers and interprets. I'm sorry, I can't see that. To assist in property acquisitions, being a real estate analyst may assist in contract negotiations, conducts due diligence on properties to be acquired. In addition, real estate analyst requires a bachelor's degree, typically reports to a manager or a head of unit/department. Being a real estate analyst contributes to moderately complex aspects of a project. Work is generally independent and collaborative in nature. Working as a real estate analyst typically requires 4 to 7 years of related experience. So hopefully before that, I could get some experience. I think that's needed. Oh yeah, so like I said, my resume, I wasn't able to get it up. Oh, where is it at?
All right. Hey, David.
Yes.
All right, you're over 19 minutes right now, so I'm gonna cut you off there, and I look forward to seeing the report. Here's the thing: a couple of bits of feedback for you. What are we looking at? This is your computer, right?
Yeah, my fault. I stopped.
Okay, no worries. So long, you got to kind of consolidate those thoughts and get us there more quickly as a presentation. If you're doing this as a PowerPoint in a room, you got to get bigger, use larger fonts that are easier to read. Obviously, for a presentation like this, it's fine.
Overall, how was it though?
I think it's good. I think there are things you're missing out on. When I worked in sales, I had a job years ago, and we were selling stuff door to door from business to business. And people would say, "How are you doing? And how does this job pay? Do you make any money?" And my friend who was doing it longer, and he became the millionaire that you'd like to be. But he would say, "Oh, last Friday I made $500." And he wouldn't say that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday he made zero. So he always kind of presented, and I think that's kind of the mantra of the or part of the salesperson's makeup is he's always telling you about his best days, not about his worst. And I think the sneaker reselling, I mean, obviously there are people who are making money at this. I always wonder how much they make. I actually I have a friend who does ticket reselling, and he's an arm's length friend. We're not super close. But I actually sent him a text hoping I could get some information from him. But I know that there were drawbacks to all these jobs. There's time commitments to all these jobs, and you didn't really get into any of those. Where do you sell the sneakers?
I did sell that.
Did you say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where did you sell them?
I did. You sell them on secondary markets like StockX, Go, Light Club. I did mention that in the presentation.
Okay, so you sell them in secondary markets, and these markets are what, online?
Yeah, it's on your phone. Like I said,
how long does it take?
I could literally sell a sneaker right now if I wanted to.
Right, but how long does it take?
To get the money, you sell the shoes. Say if I sold it today on a Monday, I'll get the money by at least Thursday.
No, I know, but how long does it take to sell it?
Oh, like I said, I could literally sell something right now if I want to.
Yeah, but I know you can do it right now, but how long does it take to do it? In other words, if I have to do a post, let's say I have to buy the shoe.
Yeah.
Let's say I then have to post it online. Do I only have to post it in one place? Do I have to take a picture of it?
No, you don't. For StockX, you don't have to take a picture of it. Basically, if I bought the shoes today, it depends. Since due to the COVID-19, I would have to due to online releases. There's in-store releases as well.
Let's take COVID-19 out of the thing. Just a typical day. If you're going to sell it,
even better. So
how many hours does it take from the time it arrives? How many hours of your work does it take from the time you make the commitment of your money to the time you get the money from the buyer?
So when I was in high school, actually, before like some of this was invented, a couple of my buddies, what we would do is we'd grab our friends who aren't interested in shoes, and
but that's people who are interested. That's a small number of sales. I'm saying this: if you're looking at this as a profession, that's going to make you. What you say? What was it? Was that the one that was going to pay you $10,000 to $20,000 a month?
Oh yeah, like I mentioned it in the presentation.
How much time per sale? Per sale, if you're breaking down your time, how much time per sale do you take, and how much money per sale does it cost?
Okay, so I think I kind of went over this in my presentation with the sneaker bot. Basically, that'll help you on a morning that comes out. It's all from your laptop. So you would sit down, say if the shoe comes out at 10 a.m. There's different releases. That's what kind of helps it get better, because there's some at 8 a.m., some at 10, some at 11. So your question is how do I get the shoes, time, and all that?
I want to know how much time you spend per sale, and what your return on investment is.
Like I
Let's
said,
just say the time spent selling from you've got, so you just something comes up online and you just press buy.
It would take a week. It would take a week for the shoes to come in.
No. So you're making how much per? So you're making $100 per shoe?
No, like I said in the, I explained.
Go ahead. I think maybe I just didn't put it together, but maybe you could have put it together for me. How much of your time is spent for every sale? Like it comes on at 9. All right. So you log on at 9 o'clock. you buy, and then you get off. So that's 30 seconds of your time. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm trying to what I'm trying to explain, I thought I did. Basically, if the shoe comes out at 9 o'clock, you would set up around 8:30 with the sneaker bot. After the race is over, with the right methods, say if you get 10 pairs of shoes.
Okay, wait, what time is it? So it's over by what time? 8:30, you log on, it comes on at 9, you buy it at 9, you're done by 9:05?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like I did mention this in the presentation, the sneakers are highly sought out after, so they sell out within a minute span. So it take about a week to get the shoes just because they're coming from online.
Okay, but I'm just talking about your time. So I don't mean your time waiting. I don't mean your time waiting. I mean your time working. So your
That's
time
what-
working is 8:30 to 9:01?
Yes, and I'm trying to explain the rest.
Okay.
Basically, once you get the shoes, go on my phone, go on StockX, and this is what StockX is.
Can't read it, but go ahead. I can't read it. It's all white. Okay, that's a little bit better, but okay. So you go into an app.
Yeah, and then like say if I wanted to sell these shoes,
Mm-hmm.
I'd go in. It says sell, click the size, sell now. There's a price, and then boom. So with the shoes, you would get them within a week, and then after the week is over, once you get them, you sell them right away, and then boom, your profit is there. So it'll take 2 or 3 days. Now with the release, if I can make a good $3,000 on a release within a week, I would like to make that $3,000 in a week rather than waiting 6 or 4 months to make $3,000 for my job.
Okay, I understand all that. I understand the big times, but I guess I wonder about this, and this is the case with all these things that I see. Somebody says, I can do this, it doesn't take much time, and I make a huge amount, a huge return, that I think, well, I mean, what are you making now doing this?
So right now, due to COVID, I really haven't been working like that, but
What'd you make first semester?
first semester, I made $5,000.
Okay, so you made 5,000 first semester, and why didn't you make 10,000 first semester?
As my goal, just due to more capital. I feel the more capital you have, it's easier to get the more money.
All right, so you're rolling your capital in as you make it.
Yeah. So once you get the shoes, you get the profit, you use the profit to buy more shoes, and you just get more profit from that.
How long does it take to ship the stuff?
I said that before. So say if I get the shoes on Monday, I'd get the money by Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
I think we're looking at different, when I'm talking about time, I'm talking about how much time are you working at this? In other words, do you get the shoes physically get sent to you, and then you physically have to put them in a box, and you have to physically send them to somebody else?
No, I'm sorry about that. So basically, you said once you get the shoes, you bring it to the post office. So your work really, what your work really is just you're on your laptop for those 30 minutes. Once you get the shoes, you go to the post office, then your work is done. You sell them to basically with a company called StockX. You ship the shoes out to StockX so they could inspect them to see if they're real enough for the authenticity, and then they ship them to the buyer. So that's how I get the money. That's all my work. I feel like it's easy to do.
And how much is the middleman getting in this?
The middleman, they charge a fee. I think 3%.
3%.
Not that much.
Okay, 3%. So whatever you sell it for,
I'm sorry, 9%. But
9%.
yes, 9%.
So they take 9% of whatever you're selling it for. So your profit is everything other than the base price of the shoe plus 9%.
Yeah. So if the retail is $220 and the shoe's $550, I'd probably get like $300, $320, something like that. But
and so you found pretty consistently that they're easy to sell. You don't wind up stuck with overstock. The only question is how much money you've got to invest in sneakers. You roll it all into new product?
Yeah, so basically with the shoe, in order to sell on the platform, the shoes have to be dead stock, which means they're not worn. So yeah, we just go for new products because you could sell worn shoes, but it's not gonna make as much money as the dead stock ones.
Okay.
The ones that aren't worn.
So the same thing with ticket reselling. Do you have to pay? Am I correct to say? And with sneaker reselling, do you have to know the product, or do you just whatever comes on the market you buy?
Basically, there's ticket group. Just like the ticket groups, there's sneaker groups also that give you information. So you're just paying someone like $30, $40 a month, and they give you all the links to what's coming out, what's profitable. So pay $30 is basically you're getting your money back, and you get the shoes. You're just making money. So
And
it's
how much
making
time do you spend doing research?
Most likely before the shoes come out, they give like a month. Every month they tell what's coming out next month. So within like a week before the release, that's when all the information comes out. So I spend about like, I want to say 30 minutes to an hour just going over everything, just seeing what I can get, what I can't, what's profitable.
One hour a month or 1 hour a week?
Oh, 1 hour a week, just seeing what different shoes come out.
Okay, so what you're saying basically is 2 hours a week and you can make $300? Or you can make more because you can buy multiple shoes, right?
Yeah, basically you can make more. The more you put in is the more you get out, basically.
Yep. I understand that part. I just don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. If you can make this much money, then are people making money hand over fist, or a lot of people making a little bit of money? Why aren't the bigger players with more money getting more involved in this if it only takes 2 hours a week to make this return?
Not a lot of people know about it, sir. So like I said with my book, hopefully in the future I could write a book that describes my experiences and about it, hopefully to show other people. Now, if I told you about this experience before, saying I made $10,000 a month selling shoes, you would kind of look at me saying, you would be interested in what I'm saying, just at the simple fact that it's sneakers. So I feel like just a lot of people don't know about this.
Okay, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the things about the protagonist in Rich Dad, Poor Dad was he worked on—
Have you read it before?
Yeah, he worked on Sundays. That book's been around a long time, and it's a good book. It's a good book.
It is.
But he worked on Sundays. He was a hardworking guy, and he was definitely an entrepreneur with a lot of traditional businesses. I just when I hear about any business that makes super money with a very short with very small windows of time, I always think that there's probably—
There's risk. There's definitely risk into it. Just like every investment, there's risk.
But there are also hidden costs. There are hidden costs to everything, so you've got to figure out those hidden costs. So when you do this as a paper, I want you to think through what the hidden costs are. How much time are you actually spending on each one of these? What are the risks? I know this ticket brokering. I have my friend who ticket brokered. I know last year there was a show that came into Boston that was supposed to be this year's Hamilton, and it wasn't. It wasn't, and he gets stuck with a bunch of tickets. So I also think that he has to pay a lot of attention to the market in order to be able to respond to people who want to buy from him. So he never responded to my text that I sent him, but I know that in ticket brokering there are risks and there are problems and there are issues that you've got to kind of.
Being an entrepreneur is all about risk.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you can't get into these things, and I'm not saying that you couldn't do both of them or three of them, but when you break them down and you're saying, well, this takes a week, and all you have to do is log in and all this, just be aware that those little bits of time add up. So.
No, I understand.
Yep. Okay, so you understand. I'm just saying, put it into the report and put it in that way, instead of like it takes this many weeks. Think about how much time within those weeks you've actually got to work.
Now, if the presentation wasn't clear to you, the paper definitely will be.
Okay. Well, I think just drill down a little bit deeper and look a little bit more into what the hidden costs are. And yeah. All right, good.
Can I put an input?
Yep, sure.
Do you think it's a good path?
I'd say you should focus on one of those three things and make that your entire essay. Like that's the job. It might not necessarily be the job you're going to go for, but just say it's going to be that job and just do all aspects of that job.
The job or the side hustles that could turn into.
Like say you just focus on doing the sneaker thing. Just focus on what's the goods about that, the bad about it in that industry, and then work on how you would get that job. How'd you get there from where you are now?
Understandable. Professor, do you think it's a good path?
I don't know. I think for certain people it is. My friend who lives on the ocean in Rockport in the $1 million house, he sells real estate now. He found something very lucrative in the real estate world, and he went that direction.
Yeah, my future goal is to like I said, get into real estate. I think just the industries I named was just side hustles that could turn into businesses. Like I said, I plan to be a millionaire. Well, I will be a millionaire by 25. So I just feel like.
How old are you now, by the way?
I just turned 21.
Okay, that's something that's always important when you're saying I'm going to do this by this. Tell us how old you are so we know how many years you've got, and then.
I have 4 years.
Okay, there you go. So I think to put it in the, I don't know. I mean, side hustles are tough. I see a lot of people who make a lot of money at a side hustle, and then the market disappears, and then they don't make anything, and then they.
I see a lot of people making money from side hustles. I see a lot of people making more money from side hustles than people with regular jobs. So I feel like just maintaining my time, maintaining my time is just the most important thing, the most important aspect. Just because if I can make more money on my own time, my free time, rather than someone who's working 40 hours a week, busting their butt, I feel like I'm at a different level. Not in the sense of like I'm putting them down, not like that, no. But I just feel like I'm more advanced just because I can make the same amount of money with you within fewer time, meaning that I have more time to increase
I think, right. And I think the question there is, are you making more money? Can you sustain it? And yeah, I mean, are you making more money and can you sustain it? I find a lot of people who hustle, whether it's whatever the hustle is, I had a friend who this was a lot of money back then. Back in the 80s, I remember I did a story on him. He made 35 grand, which was a year's pay back then, gambling. And he said after a while it became a job. And now he's a spokesman for Gamblers Anonymous. But he said after a while, it was just he had to go to the dog track. This back when we did the dogs, he would go to Wonderland. And he said he just had to go because he was always afraid that would be the day that he could have made money that he didn't make money. So sometimes I think the question is always, if you can make money and you enjoy doing it, then it makes sense. But I find a lot of people who work side hustles, they don't realize that it's become a job and it's a lot of work.
Oh no, it definitely is becoming a lot of work, but I just feel like since you have more time, you have more time to just maintain everything. I'm saying that it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy at all. Within every entrepreneur, they have their bad days and have their good days. I just feel like if I can maximize that, and at the end of the day, my job is to just fulfill my goal, and I feel like I'm on a good route.
Okay. Well, listen, when you do this as a paper, I think Jillian's got a good suggestion in terms of getting it to fit inside of the, in terms of getting it to fit inside of the 10 pages.
That's what it is. It's a 10-page assignment.
What's that?
It's a 10-page assignment.
It's a 10-page assignment, basically. I think, what is it, 10 or is it 12, Alex? Do you know? I don't know. It's whatever I
think it's.
I'm not Alex, but it depends on, like, you have to include the resume in that, include the cover letter in that.
Yeah, that's where the resume cover letter stuff comes in, where it gets kind of tricky. Is how do you fulfill the? I would say, let's say this for the sake of it. Let's say you review one side hustle, you list the other side hustles, and maybe give me a one paragraph description of them. And then you do the real estate analyst. I think you'll find that real estate analyst is a pretty busy job. And you might find real estate analysts that are working 30, 35 hours a week. But they're people with probably a lot of experience who are kind of gliding in the latter part of their career. And they're probably more time. You'd be amazed how much time in business is spent just maintaining contacts and just communicating with people who are allies and friends and clients and suppliers. So it sometimes seems that we're only working 30 hours a week. We might find that we're actually working 40 hours a week or even more, just because there's so much stuff to do that a lot of people don't consider work. It's just related to job success. And like I said, that can even when you go to lunch with somebody who's a friend, if that's a friend that you're going to wind up doing business with, it's part of your work life. So you want to be aware of that. But for the sake of this assignment, why don't you, if you're going to focus on the side hustles, just take one and really break it down. Like how many hours not how many hours you're going to work, like 3 weeks, but how many hours that are actually entailed in the work, not the waiting. Although the waiting is obviously part of it too. I mean, the waiting is part of it. But you also want to boil down to, if this is how much work it would be, this is what it would entail, and this is how you'd have to do it. Like if you had to be somewhere at 9 o'clock every Monday, that's important because it has an impact on the rest of your life. If you only spent an hour for the auction and then you only spent an hour packing the sneakers and then it was sold automatically, again, the two questions I have is one, why aren't bigger fish in it? And then two, is that the only amount of time you're working? And if you are, it certainly makes sense, particularly if you can sell 2 or 3 pairs of sneakers. But sometimes you'll find that with a side hustle, you do one thing, you get a pretty good return, but then you're limited to how many things you can do. Now, it sounds like your situation is you're limited only by the cash. But I guess the question is, if you made a $10,000 buy, would you be assured of making $60,000 on that, or let's say $30,000 on that buy?
I've seen people make $30,000 off of release.
I know you have, but could you do it every single week? Could you do it every single week? Could you do it every single month? Could you do it every single deal?
If it's not 30, probably 10, 15, but even that, it's still good numbers. I feel like with me, I just don't know exactly what I want to do. So I feel like just doing a lot of good side hustles that can make me a lot of money till 25, 26, or whatever. And then I have the security to do whatever I want within finding a career. I think that's a good path just because I already have the good money. And at 26, it's still young. 25 is still young. So I feel like finding a career within practicing that career within those years, I think that's a good plan.
Okay. There was a woman who lives in Marblehead now who runs a travel company, and she ran her own travel company before that she sold, and she started in college packaging trips for students. And she went from packaging trips for students to making a ton of money and having her own company and selling her own company and then taking another job for a bunch of money to run another company, another travel company. So there's no reason why you can't do it. But you just want to be brutal with yourself and brutally honest with yourself, and you want to really examine, what the opportunities are and what the weaknesses are of the opportunity. So for the assignment, I would say mention go into great depth with one of them, mention the other ones, mention what the potential time and what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are, SWOT, SWOT. And then write about the real estate analyst position because you're going to need something. That may not be the best first job for you. You might find that the best first job for you may be no job, as you've said, or it might be that you want to find something with flexibility and benefits. And, but you'll have to figure that out.
I still want to have a job though, because you're still going to want time. So right now I'm doing security. It's great pay. So I feel like just having a job having a job to basically fund your investments, I think that's a good way to go as well. So I'm not just in the house 24/7. No, I want to have a job just so I don't mind working 40 hours a week and then just using that money to just help me invest and just grow more. So that's just the way I want to go.
Are you paying sneakers? Are you paying taxes on the sneaker?
No, that's the great thing about it is that you don't have to. The thing about it is that you don't have to sell on these markets. You can sell in person, so you're not getting taxed. So if I sell a shoe for $550, I'm making that whole $350 profit to myself because I have cash. There's also events where you can go to where there's no tax taken out. That's the best thing about it is that there's no taxes taken out.
I have a thing to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
How do you buy the sneakers if you have black money?
What'd you say?
How do you buy the sneakers if you don't have the money registered with the government online?
You would have a job, and the job would help you fund your investments.
Here's the question: If they don't, your tax return, this sneaker company should send you a 1099 that says that they paid you, or let's say, let me think about this. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. That's a ticket broker.
Ticket broker.
So here's the question: what happens to you when the IRS comes after you?
I hope they don't.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
I hope they don't, but at the same time, the good thing about this, the secret thing is that there's different ways to sell the shoes. I mentioned one, which is StockX, but there's different platforms you can sell on, and it's an in-person thing as well. Now, say if I had the shoes, you had the money. Now, say if you want to pay $1,000 for my shoes, I can meet you in class and give you the shoes and you purchase them. That means I have.
So
You can do it in person.
So I want to pay you cash, or I want to pay you Venmo, or I want to pay you a check, or I want to give you a credit card. All right. So there's 4 ways to pay, 3 of which are recorded.
Yeah.
So 3 of them are recorded, and you got to figure that the IRS might eventually find out about those. They're not going to find out about the cash sale, but they might find out about the other sale. And you're going to have receipts of sneakers that you bought from another company. So they come up, they call you and they say, listen, we'd like to take a look at your tax return because we just looked at blank, 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 and you bought $10,000 worth of sneakers on them. Is that all for your personal collection, or are you selling them? And so you're going to have a tax problem. So you want to be aware of your tax situation as well. So
yeah, that's why I really plan to sell in person, just to get the cash so people wouldn't know how much money the IRS can know how much I'm making.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I would like to ask people what are their opinions just on the presentation or what we're talking about. Feedback. I love feedback.
Jillian?
She already spoke. I want to hear other people talk. If you have none, that's fine as well.
It's ambitious.
Thank
Definitely.
I just have a question about the Travis Scotts.
Yeah, what's up?
I was wondering, did you wait on them? Like, did you sit on them, or was that resale price just there?
I kind of needed the money at the time, so the resale price was there. It just happened to be that I won. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of this is luck too. You're not gonna get everything.
It's definitely luck. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna take L's with this also. We do take L's in life with your job in general, but with the Travis Scotts, I was able to get them. I got a size 8, so I sold right away once I got them. So I bought them. Let's say if I bought them on a Friday, I got them that next Friday, then I got the money on that Wednesday. So like a week and a half, I made $900. Say if you buy 3 pairs of those, you can make a good money. So it's like basically if you can make $2,000-$3,000 off of one shoe, and you get that within a week, you're making more money than your job. So that's why I just want to focus on the money part more of just my job, or not necessarily just my job, but just try to do things smart way.
Mm-hmm.
Call from Discover.
We got a call. I think it's Jillian. Is that you, Jim?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, again, I think the question
Oh,
is,
sorry, guys.
how do you take something that makes you a little bit of money and get it to make you a lot of money? I think that's really where your challenge is. And
Basically is say if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now say if we all 5 got the shoes, the way how I see it is I could have got all 5 of those shoes. For me, that's how I see it.
yeah. Okay.
So,
again, I look at it and I say,
I feel like since I have more knowledge on it, it's kind of confusing to y'all, but I know what I'm talking about.
I know it is. It's very, very simple. It's a very simple thing. But here's my question: if it's so simple, how come you haven't taken that 5,000, and how come you weren't able to flip it into 10,000 in January, and 20,000 in February, and 30,000 in March? I know it's COVID-19, but you know what I'm saying.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead, Mickey.
So you said that those sneakers that were released, they sold out in like a minute. So how do you plan on like buying it if a lot of people are buying it at the same time as you?
I mentioned in the presentation that there's a sneaker box. It's a software development that helps you get the shoes. You set up like 30 minutes and then prepare for the best.
Oh, okay.
How many shoes can you buy with that sneaker bot per transaction?
It depends on what sneaker bot you have. Some of them are nice, some of them are kind of shitty, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
I really wonder about the scalability of this whole thing.
Yeah,
because with the tax and everything, like,
yeah,
you can't just sell in person if you want to scale this whole business.
You can sell in person. You can sell in person definitely. It'll just probably take longer.
Right, and that's why there wouldn't be scalability. That's why you'd always be limited.
Exactly.
You'd always be limited by being just one person.
Yeah, like some stores, you're really limited to only buy one of them. But with the sneaker box, it helps you get more. So, like I said before, making 1,000, 2,000, maybe 5, 10 off of one shoe, it's not bad. I think that's great money.
And these releases are very, I don't know, they're exclusive, and sometimes they're like once every maybe 3 months or 6 months, and I wonder about the
Oh
how
no,
consistent.
they're not once every 3 months. No, every month there's good shoes coming out, profitable items. It's not just sneakers. I do.
It's once a
But will
month.
there be like a $30,000 drop every single month, every 2 months? Because I know these drops are.
The retail aren't. The retail isn't 30,000. The retail, some of them are like $160, $220.
But you buy a lot of those.
Yeah. So that's what you mean. Yeah. So you'd probably spend about like a good 10,000 on the shoes, but in return you probably get another 10,000. It all depends on the numbers and what you're paying for, or how much you're buying. But
Yeah, I'm just wondering about the consistency of that and how often you have those $10,000 profit creating drops.
Oh, so the profit goes hard on the profit depends on how hard you go. Now, if I have three different bots that are running and working, that gives me a better chance of getting the shoes. Now,
And all of those transactions will go through on a credit card or something?
Yeah, you can get a debit card, get different debit cards. There's virtual debit cards on the internet that you could use. Your family member's debit card. So basically, you want the store to see that it's different people buying them, but at the end of the day, all those people are doing it for you. So that's how you get the portion of the sneakers. Now, if I want all 5 of y'all, 4 of y'all to buy me shoes, I'd give y'all the money, then y'all would personally go on, and then I'd use y'all credit cards or debit cards, whatever, and then although the shoes would get shipped to your house, but since we're friends or cool, whatever, I'd get them from you, and then I'd just bring them to my house. So that's how I get the shoes.
And what makes you think that they're not going to decide that they want to start their own business and they want to compete with you?
I have a lot of family, so family's family. They're gonna help me
Write
out.
a contract.
Write a contract? I don't know.
Saying that they won't just keep it from him.
I mean, at the end of the day, my goal is to create generational wealth for my family. So I feel like they'd see what I'm kind of doing and help me out. I have a lot of aunts and uncles who are kind of old and wouldn't want to do this, but they would help me out in the long run. So I feel like I just could succeed in it.
I think all these boomers don't really know how to use these bots, so you'd have to take their debit card and you would have to set it up. And I don't know how many people would trust you with that and how scalable that would be.
Yeah, I'll give you.
If it's my family and they see the money I'm making and see everything's legit, then personally, I think my family would believe in me and trust in me. So at the end of the day, I don't really need their debit cards as much because you can make virtual credit cards on the line as well. So I feel like it's just something I could do. I have confidence in it and I could do it.
All right, David, I'm not going to tell you can't do it, but I am going to tell you want to be aware of some of the pitfalls. Did you know about, did you read at all about the Nick's roast beef case? I'm sure you didn't. It just came up the last couple of years. They were a very successful roast beef place in Beverly, and they got busted by the IRS, and they came in and they basically searched their homes, found a bunch of money in a safe, I think they went back all 7 years and got them for all kinds of tax evasion things. And you know how they started? You know where they first pulled the thread? Was a family member. There was a family member who turned them in to get a lighter sentence because of something that they had gotten involved in, and that was completely unrelated to anything that Nick's was doing. And they did it to get a lighter sentence, and there's family for you. So you can never be sure. And
there's no snitches in my family, so I don't think
contracts.
You always
contracts,
well, if you do a contract, then everybody's
always contracts.
There's proof.
Nah,
trying to hide it from the IRS and having
it's a lot more trackable if you use your family for all these transactions.
Yeah. It goes to the old what a wicked web we weave when first we practice to deceive.
I feel like if I know it was kind of my job to explain it. I thought I did a good job explaining it, but at the same time, you do need more in-depth explaining. So
when you talk to your entrepreneurial studies teachers, what did they say?
They think it's good. They think that obviously they have the same type of reaction y'all did, just a little confusion, but
it's not confusion. It's looking at things and saying giant hole, giant hole, giant hole, giant hole. And I don't think you're closing the holes even when you think you are. So
I mean, it's kind of hard because in my mind, I know everything, but y'all.
I know you do, but you know what it is? It's you're looking at it the same way that I look at my written stuff, and I don't see typos. I'm not seeing typos because my mind is filling it in and making it look correct. I guarantee if you look at it a little harder, you're going to see these real problems, and not they can't be overcome, David, but you got to overcome them. And for this purpose of this paper, you've got to overcome it in the next week, because you got to write the paper. So just when you go through it again, just look at how you'd scale it, how you'd make it legal. If you don't want to make it legal, like I said, plenty of people have started out illegal and then they can't get a loan, or they wind up getting into another business. I'll give you one more story and then I'll stop. But I knew a guy, and he was going to go to a college, and instead he started a record store with two of his friends. This is back when people had records. He made a good amount of money. He sold the company. He started a small record label. He's still very young at this point. He starts his own record label. And while he's starting the record label, he's learning about new types of technology, including these things called micro recorders and compact discs. And then he decides, anyway, the way he made his money is he folded his record company eventually, or he sold it off or whatever. And he started a company called Rykodisc. And what Rykodisc did is it took compact disc and it went to all these artists like Elvis Costello, Frank Zappa, who were very popular at the time and had 7 or 8 albums. And he said, I would like to put your albums on my label. And he reprinted all these old labels by all these established artists. And that's how he wound up making his money. So my point there is that sometimes the place you end up is not the place where you start out. Because these other things.
He frozen?
Hello, Professor, you cut out.
What's that?
You cut out for like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean for y'all to stay this longer. I'm sorry if my presentation kind of went long the topic, but I thank y'all for at least hearing me out.
All right, good. David,
Oh yeah, this is really interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting. I just think, like I said, it's interesting. I think you got to drill down and be brutal on yourself, and then you'll find the truth, which may be not exactly what you think it is, but you might be on the right track. So.
I feel like you like the paper, and I would like to hear your opinions on the paper when it's done.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. And remember, for the purpose of this, you have to have a job that you're going to get that will allow you to do the side hustles, and you got to get you got to explain how you get it. And like I said to everybody, talk to Barbara Levin from the Career Center.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the day off. I'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.